Good morning, everybody. I just thought I'd pop in and do a quick video for you. I hope you like my new background. I've been trying out all sorts of different backgrounds at the moment, having fun with my new green screen, and I absolutely love this one. But that's not what I came here to tell you. I came here to tell you today that I really want you to be reassured that it's okay if it takes time to lose weight. The reason I am telling you this is because I know it's counterintuitive and we want to lose weight as quickly as possible because, let's face it, losing weight we don't necessarily associate with being fun. So we tend to want it to be over with as quickly as possible. I used to liken it to job interviews. Now, I used to absolutely loathe job interviews. I mean, who doesn't loathe job interviews? I don't think I know of anyone who likes to go to a job interview. But I went through a bit of a difficult time. There is a reason I'm telling you this. I went through a bit of a difficult time in my career in, I think, 2008 into 9. That was one of the reasons why I'd gained a lot of weight around that time, actually. So I wasn't in a good place mentally. And my job was the main reason for it. I was very burnt out and had to have some time off, and I came back and knew that I needed to find a different job. And so I was applying for every job going, and I had some interviews, and each interview I was just in there and answering the questions as quickly as I possibly could, and then to get out of there, because I knew that it was not where I wanted to be. And of course, when you're in a job interview, you've got to sell yourself. You've got to prepare properly. Does that sound familiar to anybody? You have to prepare properly. You have to take your time. You have to tell them everything they need to know about you that makes you appear that you're suitable for that job. If you don't tell them, how on earth are they going to know? And so, of course, if you're answering questions really quickly and at the surface level, you're not giving them the information that they need. And so, you know, this tendency to want to get out of the interview room as quickly as possible does you no favours. And so I ended up having some interview coaching, because I was doing these interviews and it was really grinding me down. I was already down and it was just grinding me down further. And I knew that I was capable of doing these jobs that I was going for, but I just wasn't. And I was getting the interviews because my applications were really good. But actually being in that interview room under pressure, being, trying to perform, was just the worst experience. So I knew that I had to get some help because I just wasn't getting anywhere. So I got some help, got some interview coaching, and he said to me, I can't remember his exact words, but he said, you've got to stop rushing. You've got to take your time and allow them to hear what you have to say. And you have to get your messaging right. So I worked on that with him, and hey presto, the next interview I went to, I had to keep telling myself throughout the interview, take your time, answer the question with as much information as possible that's relevant, obviously without waffling. If I need more time, just ask them to repeat the question and then give me more thinking time. And then I mean, as luck would have it, I think I was the only person going for that particular job. So, or maybe was the last person of the day, I don't know, but there was no one after me, put it that way. So I was, a 45-minute interview actually turned into an hour and a half. I really, really made it last. And as I say, I got the job. And that was a real lesson to me in the importance of taking your time. How is that relevant to weight loss? It's the same thing. We don't like the experience of losing weight, so we want to get it over with as quickly as possible. The problem with that then is we set our expectations higher than perhaps is sustainable. So we end up going on a diet that is too restrictive, then we can't stick to it, then we end up failing, then we end up back where we were. If we only slowed things down a little bit so that we lose weight in a much slower rate, but in a way that is much more enjoyable, we're much more likely to be able to enjoy the process. And if we enjoy the process, we're much more likely to be able to stick with it for the time that we need to. And I shared a little thing in the group this morning about just saying, if you lose £1 a week, that's nearly 4 stone in a year, if you're consistent. Now, you don't even need to lose a 4 stone, if you don't have 4 stone to lose, it doesn't matter. It'll take you less time to get where you want to be. And also, it's important to allow for real life getting in the way and being flexible and having periods of time where you can actually stabilise. And what that does is it helps you to learn how to manage your weight over time. And those of you who've been doing the Preparing for Successful Weight Loss program with me, we've been talking a lot about this, and I shared my story of what I did and how having those breaks actually was what I believe made the difference, because I was able to maintain my weight and not go into reverse. And that is such an important life skill to learn, because it means that we're much more likely to be able to keep the weight off in the long term. So take your time and stop focusing on how much you have to lose, because as soon as you do that, that's when all the doubts come in, and that's when it all feels like it's too much. Take that out of your mind. Just think about what you need to do today. What daily actions do you need to do to be consistent in order to achieve the results that you want in the long term? And if you do that, the results will just happen anyway, without you having to keep focusing on them. So by all means, you need to be clear about what you want to achieve. Otherwise, there is no incentive. But have that vision in your mind. Take the time scale out of the equation and just think, what am I doing today or right now in the next hour? If today is too much, what am I doing now that's in support of what I want to achieve? And as long as what you're doing is in support of what you want to achieve, you will get there. And also I want to share, I'm not going to name the person, but I want to share that someone in this group has shared with me how they have lost £40. And I asked, how long have you lost that over? And it's actually been several years, but they've kept going. And if they had previously stuck to their previous pattern, they would have just kept putting it back on. But they've kept going. Yes, there've been a few ups and downs. That's inevitable. But they have kept going. And for me, as I say, when I lost my the last amount of my significant weight, going from where I was my heaviest to the weight that I am now, I did that over 2.5 years. I didn't do it all in one go. And it was breaking that pattern of doing it all in one go that was what made me successful. I also shared an article last night for you to have a read of, which really sort of reinforces a lot of what I've already been saying to you. But one of those things is you've got to accept that you're always going to have to work on this, because it's not working on it that causes the problems. So by always having an awareness, doesn't mean to say we have to be obsessed about it, but we do have to be aware. And I do keep coming back to thinking about, if we want to not go bankrupt, we want to not end up homeless, if we want to be able to thrive, we need to know how much money we've got, and we need to make that money work for us. So we need to spend time working on knowing and understanding our budgets. It's the same principle when it comes to how much we're eating in this world, because we're living in a world that actually we're not designed for. So our bodies and brains are not designed for voluntarily losing weight. They're designed for eating to fullness when food is available, because food is not necessarily going to be available. But unfortunately, in this world that we live in, food is always available. So we have to learn to override those behaviours. And if we're overweight, we want to lose weight to be a healthy weight, then we have to obviously work against that even harder. And doing that continuously over a long period of time is really hard work, both emotionally, physically, mentally. So by building in breaks and taking the process much more slowly and much more enjoyably, you will be more likely to succeed in the long term. So I really just wanted to come in and say that, because I've been getting people getting quite frustrated recently about they're not losing weight fast enough and they are struggling. And it's because we put too high an expectation and we don't accept that actually this takes work and this takes time. But by slowing things down, we are more likely to get there. So you think about the tortoise and the hare, and the tortoise being consistent okay, you know, in the traditional story, the tortoise keeps going continuously. Now I'm suggesting that your tortoise may you know, do a bit and then have a bit of a maintenance and then do a bit more and then a bit more maintenance and then a bit more. And yeah, there may be a little bit of that. I mean, if you look at my weight graph, it's kind of like that, you know, it's not completely flat. And it's not realistic to expect it to be completely flat, but my weight fluctuates in a very small window, which I allow it to, so that I can enjoy life. And it's the same when you're losing weight. You've got to be able to build in opportunities for taking a break, but without going into massive reverse. Yes, of course, you know, going on holiday, you might gain a couple of pounds. Christmas, you might gain a couple of pounds, and that's perfectly normal. What you don't want to do is turn that small gain into a big gain by going, F it, I can't do this. Because the moment you say, I can't do this, you take your power away. We can all do it when we choose to. So just remember, you do have the power and control over this, but you have to get your expectations right. And you have to choose an approach that you can live with, that you're not constantly thinking, right, I can't wait till I finish this. Because the moment you do that, you're setting yourself up for problems. So have a think about that. Let me know in the comments if that's helpful. But I just felt I needed to come in and say this, because I know that it's been a real struggle for people. And obviously, if there are any particular barriers that you're coming up against, you know, that's what this group is here for. This is what I'm here for, to help you to work through those barriers, to come up with the solution that is right for you. So reach out and ask for help if you need it. All right. So I'm going to leave it there, and I will see you again very soon. Take care. Bye.